Hello students, welcome to sixth lecture of surface chemistry. In previous lecture, we discussed about types of catalysis, homogeneous and heterogeneous, and we discussed some of the examples of these type of catalysis. Now we are moving forward towards the mechanism of heterogeneous catalysis. So our point is adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis. So as we discussed earlier, we discussed about adsorption because it is surface phenomenon. Then we discussed about catalysis because it is also surface phenomenon. Now we are merging these two different concepts together. That means adsorption theory for catalysis. How catalysis works based on adsorption. So this theory explains the mechanism of heterogeneous catalysis. The old theory known as adsorption theory of catalysis was that the reagent in gaseous state or in solutions are adsorbed on the surface of the solid catalyst. The increase in the concentration of the reactant on the surface increases the rate of reaction. As we know, according to Le Chatelier's principle, as the concentration of reactant increases, product quantity also increases and rate also increases. That means speed of reaction. That means if you are doing the reaction with 1 molar concentration and second reaction is with 10 molar concentration, you will get faster reaction in 10 molar concentration. So same is applicable here. During the adsorption on the solid, let us say we are doing reaction between solid and gas. So during the adsorption of gas on the surface of solid, initially gaseous molecules have comparatively large difference between them. That's why they are in gaseous state. And when they settle down on the surface of solid, their distance is decreases. It represents concentration is increasing. If distance between two adjacent molecules is larger, then concentration will be lower, and if distance decreases, concentration increases. So during the adsorption of the gas on the solid or solute present in solution on the solid, concentrations increases. So that's why if you want to reaction between two different gaseous molecules, then you need to increase their concentrations. And how can we increase the concentration? One direct method is to increase the pressure. If we increase the pressure, then intermolecular distances between two molecules decreases. And second way is catalysis. That means adsorption based catalysis. On the surface of solid, if gaseous molecules are settled down, that means that distances decreases, and with the decreased distance, concentration increases and you will get faster reaction. So let us move further. So adsorption being an exothermic process, the heat of adsorption is utilized in enhancing the rate of reaction. So second plus point of adsorption is when adsorption occurs, it releases heat. This released heat will be used for the reaction. The catalytic action can be explained in terms of intermediate compound formation, the theory of which you have already studied in section 4.5.1. Let us use example of simple reaction. We have to carry out reaction between two reagents. Let us say R dash and R double dash, and our target is to obtain product R dash bond R double dash. For this reaction, let us say both of them are in gaseous state. That means obviously gaseous molecules have comparatively large distance between them. So to minimize the distance, either we need to increase the pressure or we can use adsorption based catalysis. So when catalyst is used, then it will act as an intermediate product. It will help to form an intermediate product like this. First of all, R dash plus R double dash with catalyst gives intermediate product something like this: R dash bond C bond R double dash. And then you will get your catalyst back in pure form, and both of the reactants will combine with each other and you will get your product. So this is called intermediate. First we have reactants, then they will transform in intermediate form, and finally you will get your product. So simply we can rewrite this reaction as reactant turns into intermediate, intermediate turns into product. During this process, catalyst will be present in intermediate, and when it converts into product, you will get your catalyst back. Now the modern adsorption theory is a combination of intermediate compound formation theory and old adsorption theory. We are merging both of them together. The catalytic activity is localized on the surface of catalyst. The mechanism involves 5 steps. So first step is diffusion of reactant on the surface of catalyst. So first step is diffusion. That means suppose this is our catalyst and these are the gaseous molecules. So initially gaseous molecules will present inside the container away from the catalyst and away from the each other like this. Then diffusion, that means they will spread out near the surface of the catalyst like this. That means they are not bonded with catalyst yet, but distance of these gaseous molecules will decrease from the catalyst. Then next point is adsorption of reactant molecules on the surface of catalyst. That means these diffused particles now will combine with our catalyst. That means adsorption. So this type of adsorption stage occurs at the second step. Then occurrence of chemical reaction on the catalyst surface through formation of an intermediation. That means particles of gas present near to each other will start reacting with each other like this. That means let us say both of them are combining with each other like this. Okay, so you will get an intermediate like this. This is catalyst reactant intermediate. Then the fourth stage is desorption of the reaction products from the catalyst surface and thereby making the surface available again for more reaction to occur. That means now bonds of reactant particles which are already interacting with each other will remove their attachments with catalyst. Okay, so these type of attachments will be removed from the catalyst. That means bond with catalyst will break like this. And as we can see, now surface of catalyst is again available for new molecules to participate in reaction. And then the last step is diffusion of reaction products away from the catalyst surface. That means our surface is open again. So simply we can say that these molecules will move away from the surface of the catalyst like this, and now our catalyst is again free and the new molecules can interact with it to form products. The surface of the catalyst, unlike the inner part of the bulk, has free valencies, which provides the seat for the chemical forces to attraction, as we discussed earlier. So when a gas comes in contact with such surface, its molecules are held up are there due to the loose chemical combination. That means interaction between the catalytical surface and reactant molecules. And these interactions are always normally during between the catalyst and reactant. They are van der Waals type of attractions. That means intermolecular attraction. They are not permanent chemical bondings. So if different molecules are adsorbed side by side, they may interact with each other, resulting in the formation of new molecule. That means if we have reactant A and reactant B both in gaseous state, for example H2 gas plus I2 gas gives HI gas. So in this case we have two different type of molecules. When both of them are present inside the container, then interaction between hydrogen and iodine molecule is comparatively very low because they do not attract each other normally. So that's why rate of reaction will be extremely small because of very low concentration and less probability between the interaction. So that's why if we use catalyst, then distance between H2 and I2 will decrease. That's why they can interact with each other easily and you will get faster reaction. So thus formed molecules may evaporate leaving the surface for fresh reactant molecule. That means desorption process. And this theory explains why the catalyst remains unchanged in mass and chemical composition at the end of the reaction and is effective even in small quantities. It, however, does not explain the action of catalytical promoters and catalytical poisons. As mentioned earlier, catalytical promoters increases the effect of catalyst and poisons decreases the effect of catalyst. Here, graphical representation of catalytical reaction is mentioned. So as we can see, we have our free catalyst with free vacancies. All of these vacancies are not satisfied by adjacent molecules. When two different reactions A and B are present with the catalyst, then they will be adsorbed on the surface of catalyst. As we can see, due to the adsorption distance between A and B is decreased and they are comparatively close to each other, and that's why they are likely to react with each other easily because of decreased distance plus adsorption is exothermic process. So during this adsorption process, some heat will evolve. This evolved heat will be used for the formation of bond between A and B. So this is our intermediate catalyst and reactant intermediate. After this type of interaction between two different reactants, they will separate out from the surface of catalyst and our catalyst will be obtained as it was before the reaction and we can use it again. Okay, so this reaction will repeat again with new molecules. Now we have some important features of solid catalyst. First one is activity. So in short, in activity point, it is mentioned interaction between catalyst and reactant should be sufficient strong so that reactant can react, but not so strong so that reactant cannot removed from the catalyst. That means they are they should not be permanently bonded with each other. Okay, so as the new bonds increases strength, old bond strengths decreases. So that means suppose we have a hydrogen molecule H2 molecule, and when this H2 molecule is not attracted with any other elements, okay, suppose this is our metals or catalyst. So when these hydrogens has no attraction with adjacent surrounding molecules, their bond strength will be 100%. So right now this bond strength is 100%. Now let us say these hydrogen molecules feels attraction towards this catalyst and they will adsorbed on the surface of catalyst. And let us say this attraction is comparatively weak, but still it gives some value. Let us say attraction strength initially between two hydrogen atoms attraction was 100%. Now from the outside, from the catalyst side, suppose new bonds are formed and these bonds are comparatively weak. Let us say strength of this bond is only 5%. Okay, so hydrogen atoms are getting 5% attraction from the outside, and this 5% attraction from the outside will decrease the attraction between two hydrogen atoms itself. That means out of 100% attraction, now 5% from this side and 5% from this side, that means 10% attraction is coming from the outside. So that means strength of this bond will decrease. Outside attractions decreases inside bond strengths. So now we can say that our bond strengths are 90%. It is not 100% because 10% attraction is coming outside, coming from outside or from the catalyst side. So it decreases the strength of reactants. So according to this activity point, adsorption should be reasonably strong on the catalyst to become active. However, they must not get adsorbed so strong that they are immobilized and other reactants are left with no space on the catalyst surface. That means it represents catalyst and reactants are permanently bonded together and now no surface of catalyst is available for new molecule. That means we can say that it is not the nature of catalyst. It should be sufficient strong so that reactants becomes active but not so strong that reactants are permanently held with catalyst for adsorption. So now it has been found that for the hydrogenation reaction, the catalytical activity increases from group 5 to group 11 metals, with the maximum activity being shown by the group 7 and 9 elements of the periodic table. So reaction is mentioned 2H2 plus O2 with the platinum gives H2O water molecule. Second point is selectivity. That means each and every catalyst have their own path for the reaction. Different type of catalyst with the same type of reactant molecules gives different product. So it is called selectivity. That means each and every catalysts have their own path for the reaction. So selectivity of catalyst is ability to direct the reaction to the yield in a particular product selectively. When under the same reaction condition, many products are possible. Selectivity of different catalysts for the same reaction is different. So few examples are mentioned for the same reactants CO and H2. So as we can see with nickel it gives methane and water, with copper and zinc oxide chromium oxide it gives methanol, and with copper only it gives formaldehyde. So that means we can say that reaction directions are highly influenced with the catalyst. Same type of reactants gives different type of products with different type of reactants. Thus, it can be inferred that the action of catalyst is highly selective in nature, and as a result, substance with the act as a catalyst is one reaction may fail to catalyze another reaction. That means if you are using copper for the reaction between CO and H2, but if you are trying to use same catalyst for other reaction, as for example reaction between H2 and I2, it may fail. It may do not gives any reaction, or it may gives no change to reaction, or in certain cases catalyst in one reaction will act as a reactant for other reaction. That means it will participate in reaction and it will be present inside the product. You will not get catalyst after the reaction. Okay, so it depends on the nature of reactants, and different type of catalyst has different selectivity. You cannot use one catalyst for other reaction.